This podcast is brought to you by you, our wonderful anime addicts. And if you would like to support the podcast, head over to aapodcast.com/join or Patreon. Throw us a couple bones. We'll give you 8 exclusive extra podcast episodes per month. Hey, after the show today, we're going to talk about how I almost blew myself up camping. And we talked about House of the Dragon, Game of Thrones before the show today. So you'll get all that and so much more. Again, that's aapodcast.com/join or Patreon. Now, enjoy the show.
Get ready! You're about to listen to the Anime Addicts Anonymous podcast. Make your anime addiction worse at AAApodcast.com. And now, here are your anime addicts.
Hello, and welcome to the brand newest episode of the Anime Addicts Anonymous podcast. In fact, it's episode 641. And my name's Caroline, and with me here today is Mitsugi. Hello, Mitsugi.
It's actually 6:42, but I'll take the hit for that.
642.
6:42. I'm doing great. I'm enjoying myself. I'm going to open up this 100 proof shot of liqueur. I don't even know what this is.
Mystery liqueur.
It just says like 100 proof on it. So, but hey, I'm here. I'm ready to talk some Dragon Ball Super and so much more. I love you guys.
Aww.
Here we go.
I also have
Straight
alcohol.
gasoline. Here we go.
Yes, so here I have today is apple cider with Fireball and Screwball, which is a peanut butter whiskey. So 2 different whiskeys and apple cider, and it is delish.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
What?
Oh, I can feel the fumes coming out of my throat and like burning my eyes.
Oh.
Oh. Glad to be here.
I'm going to say, so that's a great way to start off the show, by the way.
Mm-hmm,
but we have a lot coming up for us today that this alcohol is going to be needed because we do have the review of Realist Hero, the second part. So we actually thought this was season 2. This is actually just part 2 of the first season. Great. But I'm not as if it makes much difference because there is a gap in between the seasons, right?
Oh, I don't know.
Was there?
It's the best anime.
I feel like
what else could you ask for besides Game of Thrones? Or Game of Thrones. We already talked about that. What else could you talk?
You're already getting a little confused, aren't you?
Oh, I am. It's very quick acting.
With the mystery liqueur.
What else could you ask for but Realist Hero Season 2? I know that you are just thrilled by this. And
honestly, when I heard it was coming, I nearly fainted.
Well, it's your fault that we're watching it.
It's not my fault. It really isn't.
The Discord, they unionized against you. You created this with your own greed because you wanted to watch... you wanted to have your cake and eat it too. So isn't that what happened? Does I recall?
No, they did unionize against me because I passed up on my family so that it could take the listener poll and I can pass something else. So that I will not deny that happened, but that's not why Realist Hero Part 2 got passed for, was it listener choice? It's because they really wanted to troll us, and they knew how much I was going to hate it, so they picked it.
Well, they did a great job.
Well, that comes a little bit later. We will first have our main topic for today. Mm-hmm. I will die on this hill, which is a conversation we've had a bit about on our Discord, which is really fun because there are so many not like hot takes or anything, but opinions that nothing will change. Like no argument could possibly change your opinion on this certain thing. And we will discuss what our hills that we will die on later, as well as many other hills to die on from people on Discord. So we'll get to that after our big news of the week. Or actually, maybe we should mention our social media. I totally forgot about that. I'm doing everything out of order. Okay, you can find us on Twitch, of course, twitch.tv/AAA podcast. We are live every Sunday at 5 o'clock EDT. And we are also on Twitter. We are on Facebook. We are on Discord, where there are so many great conversations going. Please join if you'd like to have your own little set of virtual friends. And finally, our TikTok, in which I made a Realist Hero TikTok the other day, and it friggin' blew up. I'm nearing 50,000 views right now.
That's because it's the best anime of all time. Bring it.
I don't know why this happened. I really don't. It was something I made in like 15, 20 minutes. And sometimes I spend a very long time making TikToks. And finally, I have one that has reached more than 1,000 views. In fact, nearly 50,000. And with like 5,000 likes. So that's pretty damn impressive for me. I feel proud.
Well, you should.
Unfortunately, there are a lot of Realist Hero fans in the comments section of that TikTok. So I'm afraid if we have gained any listeners today, we are going to lose them quickly. Let's get into the big news of the week.
Let's hit it.
大ニュースです。It's time for big news of the week.
I should also probably say that if you haven't supported the podcast yet, do so, and you'll hear about what cross-dressing cosplay I will do for Halloween in an effort to win funniest costume at a Halloween party this year. So it's going to be pretty great. I bought the costume today. I will be wearing heels and other things. So, but you just won't know what that is unless you listen to the after party today. So, all right, big news of the week. Pretty good stuff here. We have this sort of ritual that we do in my house where we have a friend that comes over from North Denver or whatever, and we always imbibe or smoke some pot or whatever people do in Denver, and we tend to watch like Korean or otherwise Asian like horror shows. So we watched Sweet Home. We watched All of Us Are Dead. We watched some of Alice in Borderland before it shit the bed. We started watching Kingdom. Now, there's another show coming out that's pretty exciting, Parasite, which we all know, very popular anime. A lot of people like Parasite. Parasite is getting a live-action series, but it is not a Japanese series, as most people think. Like, most people don't even think about like live actions as if they matter because live-action Japanese TV is so bad. This is a Korean show, and Korea does great live-action. They do really great horror live-action. So it is titled Parasite the Grey. It has, and I'm not going to get any of these names right. I don't know how to pronounce Korean. I'm just going to try my best, so I apologize in advance. Yeon Sang-ho of Train to Busan is the director.
I love that movie.
And if you know anything about Train to Busan, it is a pretty renowned and well-loved movie. So there's one check mark.
It's probably one of the best zombie movies.
Well, there you go. From the horse's mouth. Ryu Yong-jae of Peninsula is writing the script at Studio Climax, and the series is going to be on Netflix. So this is going to be pretty awesome. It's got a great cast of characters that definitely look like they fit the role. Jong Soo-in is playing the main character, I think, and it's just going to be awesome. So Studio Madhouse adapted the manga into a 24-episode anime series that came out in the late 2014. So you will recall that Parasite is about these like small creatures who they don't really give their origin, but they invade and take over humans' minds in order to survive when they land on Earth. And there's a guy named Shinichi Izumi who's a 16-year-old high school kid who gets invaded by one of these creatures, but it hits him in the arm instead of his brain or his ear or whatever. And so he gets like this power in his arm, but it doesn't take over his mind. So the two of them kind of work together as like a tag team. So he calls like the alien Migi, which means right, because I think it goes in his right arm. And they kind of work together to fight against like the people that have been actually taken over. And it's like super violent. It's a really quite good anime. I didn't think the ending was very good, but it's a good anime. Definitely memorable. And since this is being done by a Korean cast of well-known characters and staff, I have pretty good confidence that this is going to be good. And it's just a new installment in the Mitsugi household of watching crazy Korean horror shit late at night. So it's going to be fucking awesome. I'm very excited. And everybody else should be excited as well for the new Parasite show. So that's my big news of the week.
All right. Well, I am also going to be talking about live action series, but on the other side of the coin, something that is probably not going to be very good.
Oh,
The Paprika novel will be
No.
getting a Hollywood live action series. So
Why
yeah,
don't you
it was
think it'll be
reported last
good?
week. Well, because it's Hollywood,
Well,
and they did.
fair enough.
Okay, so if people are unaware, Paprika is well, it's a novel first, but then became an anime movie directed by Satoshi Kon back in 2006. A very good movie. It follows the theft of a machine that can enter people's dreams, and it's causing or has the potential to cause a lot of psychological damage. It's dangerous. So this woman enters the dream world to stop the culprit. It's a lot like Inception. So if you liked Inception, you will probably like Paprika and vice versa. And even though Inception is a Hollywood movie, taking Paprika and turning it into a live action series. Now, Paprika is very trippy. It really lends itself to anime, and especially to Satoshi Kon's style. It is not going to translate to Hollywood unless they get somebody very unique to do this. Unfortunately, I don't think they got a very unique director because it's Kathy Yan who directed Birds of Prey, a movie that I have not seen, but I have not really heard
Birds of
I have
Prey.
not really heard people talking about it. It's the Harley Quinn movie. I have
Yeah.
not heard a lot of people talk about it, and therefore I doubt that it's anything noteworthy. So she'll be executive producing and directing. And yeah, it's going to be at Amazon Studios and Hive Mind as well. So maybe it'll come out on Amazon or something. So yeah, that is something that's in the news this week, but I don't think it's really going to be anything to look forward to.
Yeah. Yeah, Paprika was a very trippy movie, and it's going to be tough to adapt that. I don't know. I don't actually like the Paprika movie very much. It's I don't know. It's just a little too out there for me. It's just kind of chaos to me, and
Yeah, it is kind of chaos. It does it's not particularly my style, but there are certain things I did definitely enjoy about it, and I feel it's probably one of his most well-known. Well, not the okay, so he has a lot of well-known movies. That's not really saying much, but yeah. Go check it out. Not the live action though.
not the live action, she says. Okay, yeah. So that's it for. Wow, that's a quick big news of the week. He just blew right through that.
Well, we didn't have Mason around here.
That's true. Oh, Mason, he's having vacation. He's having the time of his life. He's so
Yesterday
young.
was his birthday, so he's living it up.
Oh, really?
Although I'm kind of sad that. Oh yeah, it was his birthday yesterday.
I didn't know that.
I mentioned it in our group chat.
Oh, well, I was climbing a mountain and almost blowing
Well,
myself
I
up.
did forget. I did forget that it was his birthday. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah. So you're not the only one.
I can't really say I forgot because
I'm kind of sad.
I don't think I knew to begin with. But love you, Mason.
I'm sad that I won't be hearing what hills he will die on because I was curious.
That's true. Oh man, Masons are a little bit more unpredictable. I don't really know what he would come up with.
Yeah. I need to ask him about this later. But anywho, let's get started with our topic for today, which is indeed I Will Die on This Hill. Mitsugi, what would you like to start with?
I want to start with the fact that old anime are better than new anime. And you're the perfect recipient of this bitch fest because you are young. You're young relative to me, and you have seen a lot more new anime relative to, well, I've seen a lot more old anime relative to you, I assume, because I'm fucking old. And so I'm going to give some reasons here. And I'm not really going to rant about it. I'm just going to lay these out as facts. I'm kind of interested in what you have to say about it. And when I say old anime, I mean stuff that's like pre-2000, probably. So, I would say that this is like the antique type anime at this point. So I would say the newest of this category would be something like Cowboy Bebop. That would be like the newest. Because Bebop's like roughly like, or like Crust of the Stars is like 1999 or whatever. So that would be like the latest I would get. But to me, I think that the designs are better in old anime, and by that I mean character designs. I appreciate the hand-drawn, grainy sort of animation that we used to have like decades ago, as opposed to what we have today. I think that the Anime today has very little charm to it in the way that it looks. It doesn't have like the imperfections of hand drawing. I think that the content of anime that are older are more unique and experimental. And that's really a big point because, and I want to harp on this a little bit, because it's true that like character designs and the animation, but being hand-drawn versus computer, are personal taste for the most part. But if you think about the anime we get today, there are probably 15 isekai a year that have the exact identical plot line. And now they all have slaves in them. I don't know what this is, like this trend now of like everything has a slave. Even Realist Hero has a slave in it. Like every fucking live action or every isekai show has a slave in it. So they got a ton of these shows. It just seems like a lot of anime have absolute cookie cutter plot lines today. And we watch a lot of the same shit over and over again. I mean, the fact that we are reviewing Genius Hero and then Realist Hero in two consecutive weeks
that was poorly planned,
practically identical types of stories, it's just proof that like anime today has very little originality. It has very little they take very few risks or deviate from convention very seldom. It's almost like as if an anime studio were to take a risk today and to do like something that had never been done before, that might be like a super smash hit idea that stimulates like a whole new genre of anime or just opens the eyes of viewers. That is too much of a risk because if it doesn't land, like the studio just goes under. Like that's, we talked about how 40% of anime studios like lost money last year. So rather than like take a risk and have something unique, they just like put the same fucking thing out over and over again. Even like Ryman's Club, that shit ain't really unique. It's just like an off the beat sports anime with like cookie cutter character designs that like is about everyone's personal problems, and it's not even really about sports. And old anime used to be like really bizarre, super unique, and very experimental. Like you've got, shows like Goku Midnight Eye that are like weird as fuck, and there's like laser breathing like cyborg girls like riding around, and there's like a little robot guy riding on her and pulling her handlebars that are growing out of her back, and you got like Wicked City, which is got all kinds of bizarre shit in it, and Ninja Scroll. Like none of that stuff exists anymore today. And I just feel like anime today it's almost like they just want to pump out as much content as they can without putting any kind of care, love, or originality into it. It's just the same shit over and over and over. And that's why I tend to watch anime that are older, because every time I watch one, I get something weird like Lily Cat, which is about like an alien invading a spaceship and just killing off the crew like one at a time. There hasn't been an anime like that in like 20 years. I don't know, maybe never since then. Can you think of an anime where an alien invades a spaceship and just picks people off? I don't think so. Like, no. We're too busy with...
Well, like, there's the movie Alien.
The movie Alien, which is also from the 80s, which I love. But like, it's just... it's a lot of isekai shows that are all the same shit, or, just like... perverted ecchi shows or school comedies, and there's nothing that will make you think like, wow, I've never seen this before. And that's why we all dove on it when we saw Odd Taxi, because Odd Taxi was actually unique and good, but like it's very rare. So I think old anime are better than new anime. What do you think?
I can't really make a unbiased opinion because, as you mentioned, I haven't really seen a whole lot of older stuff. I mean, I have seen Pat Labor, which I wasn't really a huge on. And that might also be due to the fact that I'm not really into mecha all that much.
Yeah.
I did like Fist of the North Star just for its kind of like Saturday morning villain of the week kind of style with a whole lot of gore and craziness and villains that look like they just popped out of a Party City sale. And it's just, it was pretty, I had a lot of fun with Fist of the North Star. Not that I've like watched it. Of course, I have not watched the entire thing. I've only seen like maybe 15 episodes, but still, it was a good time. And I have seen Crest of the Stars. Again, was not really all that big on it.
Boo.
I watched a bit of what's it called Galactic Heroes. I saw like one of the movies, and that was pretty good, and I enjoyed that. But again, still not gone to the actual show. and still have not watched Cowboy Bebop, even though that's like a federal crime.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, sort of. I mean, I don't know. You're okay.
So I can't say for certain what would be better, but you are not wrong in that anime these days certainly is just plagued with unoriginality. But yeah, I won't argue too much with you on that one.
Wow. Okay.
Because I mean I don't really have grounds for arguing, you know?
Okay. She doesn't have grounds for arguing. It's fair. And there are a lot of people that will disagree with that point, because there are a lot of people listening to this podcast that I keep saying the anime fandom lasts about 5 years at most. So there are a lot of people out there that don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about when I say like hand-drawn animation, which is kind of crazy to me, but that's just how things are. And, there's not much else to say about it. It is what it is. So, well, why don't you give one, and then we'll pick one. Let me see. Do you have the ones written down from the Twitch or whatever? Yep. Okay. All right. Why don't you give one?
Yeah, that one's below.
Not all of mine are very interesting, so why don't you give one that you like a lot, and then I will give one, and then we'll read one from the social media.
Okay. So, first one on my list is actually a callback to something that we did on the podcast. Remember around the Anime Horn, where we all kind of competed with our own opinions of anime, and whoever won got to have a 1-minute long rant about something of their choosing. So I prepared something in the situation that I did win, but I didn't win that. So I had this whole thing prepared. I didn't get to say.
Yeah, I remember that.
I'm going to frickin' swing it.
Let's go.
I don't remember which episode it was. People would have to look it up, but
fucking blow my mind. Let's do this.
Here is why Gakko Garashi is good. And if you're not familiar, Gakko Garashi is School Live, or School Live, as I have a habit of saying.
Can I stop you real quick? Can I stop you for a second?
Yes.
Would you be willing to double down on that and not only say School Live is good, but that it is great?
I feel like if I were to say that, it would come off more of being my taste thing. Because I believe that there are some good merits to the show, but people who have certain tastes will say, no, that's not that great. So I'm not going to make such grandiose claims that this is one of the best shows I've ever seen, because it's not. But people will shit on this show, and I feel like it doesn't deserve to be shit on.
Well, I just thought maybe, because like a lot of shows are good. I thought maybe you'd want to add a little extra emphasis so I could argue with you more.
Well, I have a whole rant here that I will give you into detail.
Okay, I got the rant music ready.
Okay. Cue it.
Oh shit.
People will look at. You're not ready?
Well, what? You can't just cue it. It has to be natural, you know? So
okay.
You rant, and when I feel the time is right. It's not
an incredibly long rant, but okay, just keep that in mind.
Okay.
Okay. People will look at this show and say it's moe trash. And yes, it is moe, but trash. It is not. Try not to spoil too much about Garashi, but after the first episode, you will see that this is not just about cute girls doing cute things.
Yeah.
They are cute girls doing cute things because it's the only way for them to stay sane. And to make them remember that life in a dire situation that they are in is still worth living. There's mystery, there's plot twists, the characters suffer serious and traumatic experiences that they are forced to deal with up until the very end of this season. And if you get to episode 6, there is an interaction between two of these very cute characters that is incredibly eerie and slightly disturbing. And it is probably one of my favorite scenes in all of anime. It's just such a great example of fantastic direction and sound design and art, and it's one of my favorite examples of what anime can offer. So from both a story and a production standpoint, yes, Gakko Garashi is a moe show, but it is a fucking good moe show.
Moe fucking trash.
Okay.
Is that the end?
Yes, that's the end of my written rant.
So you think Gakko Gurashi is a great example of what anime has to offer? I think I heard you say that.
Yes, I believe
that's
that
some strong shit right there. Now I'm gonna have to say, are you
it's
sure?
a good-looking show. You like, sure, it has moe designs. It's not like the most incredibly original art design, but there are so many good, just moments of good lighting and just setups and plot devices, and it's just it is good. It is. There are so many more things I could say about this show, but I don't want to spoil it. So watch the end of the first episode, and then I can probably tell you more on Discord. But yes,
I will agree with one thing, and that is, moe girls are great, especially when they're dead moe girls. That's the best kind of moe girl, is the one that's dead. Don't you think so? Come on, can we at least agree on that?
You're not actually.
Oh,
are you actually going to say anything to dispute my points? Anything solid?
I don't know. It's just the
show's
full of, like...
Do you even remember the show?
Oh, I remember the show. I just don't want it. The whole the problem with Gakko Gurashi to me is that the whole show is about the twist at the end, and I can't even talk about the twist because I'm spoiling the whole anime for everybody.
At the end.
It was pretty close.
Well, there are plenty of twists in between the show.
I remember them like looking for keys in the teacher's room, and like and then like at the end you find out that like fuck it, everybody's dead.
No, they're not.
They're dead. They're all dead.
That's not the twist, Mitsugi.
Okay. Well, I don't want to ruin the whole anime. You love it so much. How would you feel if I spoiled the whole anime for all the audience?
Well, then they wouldn't be interested in watching it if they knew what happened.
Listen, I think it's a bit of a stretch to say that Gakko Gurashi shows some of the best of what anime has to offer. But if you like,
I'm not saying it is the best, but they have good examples of it.
Okay, well, I'm not going to cut down your personal taste. To me, it has moe girls in it as the main cast, and to me, that means that the show can burn in fucking hell because I'm Pope Mitsugi. So don't make me put my hat on. There are
moe girls in this, but they serve a very good purpose in the whole theme of the show, in that they serve as a bubbly and fun-loving group that, is kind of overdone because they are moe girls. But in the very dark and dire situation that they find themselves in, it's a juxtaposition that works very well.
Listen, I'll say that the one girl that has blonde hair is wearing like a garter belt to hold up her stockings. It's a little intense.
Oh, yeah.
She's fucking 10. Like, what is this? Like a burlesque show?
She's not 10. It is a very strange inclusion of that. I'm not gonna lie.
No shit. She's gonna be under like she's sucking like zombie penis on like the weekends or some shit.
Don't be gross.
Eat your jelly beans.
I don't have any more. You stole them all.
You don't even have jelly beans to chase
this jar? Do you see any jelly beans in this jar?
Yes. They were all eaten from the vulgarity that spews forth from my mouth. But now you don't even have jelly beans left to chase the acidity of my comments. You must now take them in full force.
Drink.
Just drink. Yes. Wow, she's drinking like she's drinking like whiskey over there. I don't know what that is.
It's not straight whiskey.
It looks like whiskey to me.
Okay, so
could have been bourbon.
Well, it's apple cider with Fireball and peanut butter whiskey.
Fireball and peanut butter whiskey. All right.
I love it.
Oh,
it's so good.
God.
Okay, so I will leave it at that. I feel like I have defended myself well enough. Okay, so let's try to find a good one from the.
I highlighted a couple that I thought were decent.
I don't see any highlights.
I bolded them. They're bold.
Okay. Since you have already picked one that you want to say, go ahead.
So Lady Emery wrote that I will die on the hill that Demon Slayer is the best shonen manga currently ever written. Nay, my top 10 series book. See, if you want to say it's your top 10 favorite books, that's fine because I can't say that you can't like it. But so really,
let them explain.
All right, I'll just read it as it's written. It says, "I will die on the hill that Demon Slayer is the best shonen manga currently ever written. It has well-rounded heroes and villains with unique backstories that back up everyone's motives, and everyone has a job in the final showdown," which I don't even know what the fuck that is yet. Women actually have
the manga.
The manga, yeah. Women actually have a purpose versus being a sex object / prop. The artist has a great balance of comedic timing, drama, and story progression to keep the reader turning the pages. The manga is done. I cannot stress this enough. It isn't dragging its feet, going on hiatus, making up new power scaling. It is done, and the artist is moving on to an entirely new series. That means the anime will have an ending. Okay. That's enough. But, like, so the first thing that jumps out to me is that, like, I don't know, the last thing I watched was the Entertainment District arc, right? And the women actually have a purpose versus being sex objects. All I remember from that season is like giant titted demon girl, and everybody wants to fuck Nezuko. That's all I picked up from that. Because she's like, oh, Nezuko gets angry. Not only does she get like angry, she could just be like a little Nezuko like she normally is and just fuck people's day up. But no, she has to grow like 4 inches, get like juicy thighs and giant tits that they just like display for the whole world to see. And then like, and you get like 7 million anime fans just like beating it hard to like Nezuko all of a sudden. Oh, come on. Well, they didn't have to.
We're already doing that.
But like,
we're already doing that.
Well, probably.
But I didn't think that was the most egregious, example of that. Anyway, so this was from, we didn't even say who this was from. This is from Lady Emery.
Who's in the Twitch, by the way.
Yep, she's on our Twitch. And when I was putting these in here, I did take out some things to just shorten some of people's submissions. Mm-hmm. She did mention that she was not a huge fan of some of the things in the anime, such as, this child being slapped on the butt by this grown-ass man for no reason. And also the fact that we have, quote-unquote, ninjas with big-ass boobs and nothing supporting them at all in terms of, protection
So let me say that I haven't read the manga, so I don't know if Nezuko grows like 3 cup sizes when she gets angry in the manga, but she definitely gets some tiggle bitties in the anime that was kind of hard to overlook because everyone knows Mitsugi loves himself a demon girl. Nezuko went from being like this little girl who was like in a box and came out and she was cute to being like a girl that pretty much anybody, including myself, would easily bang. Because she grew like 10 years and became mad hot. So I don't know. I don't know if that's in the manga or not, but yeah, I don't know. Demon Slayer. I don't know what your take is on Demon Slayer, Caroline, but like Demon Slayer entered the camp for me of like, this is way too popular for no reason. And I think that the reason why Demon Slayer is so popular is because it looks amazing. And that's about it.
Yeah,
otherwise, it's just running around killing demons. I don't know what the big deal is about it. It's just running around killing demons, and we're gonna get 5 more 1-star reviews on iTunes because of this. But like,
I feel like it's because it's very approachable to a lot of people, like people who are not really all that into anime, and then they heard that it was trending because of this amazing fight scene in season 1, and that brought a lot of people in. And because it is very approachable to a lot of people, that's what made people like, and a lot of people absolutely love it. And you're not wrong. It's not, the most amazing shonen out there. Like, it's not much different from other shonens that we have that we generally think are okay. But yeah, a lot of it probably has to do with the fact that it looks so darn good.
I don't think Demon Slayer is a bad anime. Like, I'll watch the anime right to the end.
I liked it.
It's fine. To have 33% more box office sales than Spirited Away is a little much. Like, I can't bridge the gap. And Japan has like no inflation, by the way, so you can't really blame that. I can't really bridge the gap between high fucking art that is like an all-time great film, period, not even just anime of Spirited Away, to be like run over by the quote-unquote train, so to speak. By the way, I thought Mugen Train... Mugen Train is a horseshit movie that they threw out there to make a fuckload of money, and it did make a fuckload of money. And then they just made it into like a 4-episode anime or whatever, like to prelude the entertainment arc. Like, I don't know. It's just like I didn't think the Mugen Train movie was very good. Like, it was an okay movie. It wasn't even as good as the Dragon Ball Super movie that just came out, in my opinion. So like, I just can't. I'm not saying Demon Slayer sucks because it doesn't. It's perfectly fine. I just don't know why it is like the best thing that ever happened in the world. Because to me, it's not as good as Hunter x Hunter. It's not as good as Dragon Ball. It's not as good as Yu Yu Hakusho. You know, I don't. It's a stretch to say it's as good as like even like Slam Dunk, which is shonen. You know, et cetera, et cetera. I just don't know. I don't. To me, the only thing that's different is that it looks fucking way better than any of the other ones. And anime is more popular now than it was in the past. That's all I can really grapple onto to explain why Demon Slayer is is just transformed the planet as far as like entertainment goes. Do you have anything to add?
No, I mean, I feel pretty, you know, one way or the other about it. There are certainly some anime and manga that I thought were like, oh my god, this is so good. But I knew that it had its problems, and not everybody really liked it all that much. So for that reason, I definitely can see why a person might like something that we all shit on sometimes.
Yeah. So
thank you to Lady Emery for sending it along, and we'll get back to you, Mitsugi, then.
And I want to conclude that by saying that I haven't read the Demon Slayer manga, so no, this is no commentary on Demon Slayer manga at all. And I'm pretty sure I gave Demon Slayer like a 4 out of 5 when we reviewed it, and that wasn't enough for people, so everyone got mad at me for that. But I thought a 4 out of 5 was a pretty good score. So anyway, because Demon Slayer is pretty good. It's just not the best shonen show I've ever seen. This next one will I don't know. It's very controversial. Sports anime featuring primarily women are routinely bad. And I'm not saying that that's because women can't play sports or because they're not entertaining to watch play sports or that they're not capable or that women aren't athletes. But Japan just can't figure out how to make a sports anime with women without turning them into like caricatures. And it is somewhat bothersome, but I'm going to die on the hill that like sports anime featuring primarily women just aren't good. And it's like I said, it's because Japan just can't get it through their fucking head that like just because it features women, we have to have like a 14 episode arc about how to play baseball. Like it's fucking ridiculous. Like everybody knows how to play baseball. It's an easy sport. Everyone knows how to play basketball. It's an easy sport. So when you have a basketball anime about girls like Rokubu, which came out like 10 years ago, it doesn't have to be about like pedophilic up-the-skirt panty shots of 8-year-old girls. You can just have girls playing basketball, and they don't need to have a 2-episode sequence about how to shoot a fucking foul shot. You know what? Fuck it. I'm pissed.
Woo!
You can just have middle school girls playing basketball, and you don't have to like have half the anime be about how to play basketball, and they don't have to have like thousands of up the skirt shots of 7-year-old or 8-year-old girls. You can just have them fucking playing basketball. Baseball has like 5 rules. Well, I don't have to have 19 anime with girls playing baseball that don't know how to hold a fucking mitt. Just have them playing fucking baseball. Why does it have to be that girls like can't play sports because they're incompetent or something? Or it's like or like the weightlifting anime. It just becomes about like how the girls want to fuck the guy who like weightlifts, and then ends up being like this stupid show about like losing weight. I just don't understand. Like if this is all you're gonna do with women playing sports, just don't make sports anime with women anymore, because it's frankly tiresome and insulting. You know, perhaps the answer isn't to throw in the towel, but I can't write a letter and force the Japanese directors and creators to write shit that isn't utter and total garbage. But every time a sports anime with girls shows up, maybe ironically except for like Keijo maybe, which is actually like about sports, even though they're totally sexualized anyway. And
it's a fictional sport. When Keijo is our example of female sports in anime, that is not good.
The hockey anime we just had, it could have been amazing. It was horse shit. It was utter horse shit. Like, oh, girls playing hockey. Well, okay, fine. I assume you're going to have a 19-episode arc about how to play hockey, but then, like, when they win, they have to, like, do, like, a idol girl dance routine on the ice. Like, fuck off. That is the most ridiculous horse shit I've ever seen. I even went back and watched Princess 9 from, like, 1995, because I'm like, I love old anime. It's probably going to be awesome.
Not had a
right?
good female sports anime in 25 years.
It's never, I don't know that it's ever happened. I'm waiting.
Well,
I'll wait.
Princess Nine good?
No, it wasn't good. It was good for maybe 5-6 episodes, and then it ended up being about like personal problems and then like girls falling in love with like the boys who play baseball. And that was pretty much all that it ever amounted to. And then it had like a good last 2 episodes, but all in all, it was dog shit. And it just is so tiresome because I love sports anime so much and I watch every single one of them without fail, but I can't think of a single sports anime with girls aside from Keijo, which is kind of a joke, that is good. And you need to either understand that women can play sports or stop fucking making sports anime with women because it's unbelievably just stupid and boring. Anime. Japan needs to like pull its head out of its ass. Like yes, women can't weightlift as heavy as men. You know, I'm not gonna see some chick bench pressing like 500 pounds. It doesn't mean that like a girl can't bench press. Just fucking figure it out. It's just unbelievable. I'm just so angry at this point. It's so tiresome.
Yeah, it is incredible how dire the situation is there with like girls and sports animes. Like it just doesn't happen. It doesn't happen in a good way.
But why? Like it could have been so great.
I don't know.
The rock climbing anime. I guess, it could have been awesome.
They don't think that girls will watch a sports anime, and therefore why not make the main characters all boys, so that really caters to the boys who want to watch the sports anime, but they're just going off options because of that. Like apparently girls don't want to watch it. No, it's because it sucks. It just the genre sucks.
All right, here we go. Top 10 best sports anime featuring girls. I'm going to be dead honest here. 10. Kandagawa Jet Girls. Haven't seen it. Tamayomi Baseball Girls. Fucking horrible. Anime was dog shit. Goodbye Kramer. Haven't seen it. Maybe I'll watch it. Uma Musume. Come on. It's not even a fucking sports anime. It's basically just a fetish show. Princess 9. Trash. Already seen it. Not good. Hanebado. I didn't like it. Didn't think it was good. Keijo. We already talked about that. Harukawa Receive. That's a fucking like beach volleyball anime. You know where that's going. Iwa Kakeru Sports Climbing Girls. Didn't we already like fail the shit out of that because it was terrible? How is that number 2? And number 1, really? How heavy are the dumbbells you lift? It was more about girls wanting to like lick the trainers like abs than it was about actual weightlifting. So frustrating. Moving on.
I have not seen any of those anime, so... But you don't sound like you're wrong.
Did you join the show after How Heavy Are the Dumbbells You Lift?
I was doing social media, but wasn't on Twitter at that point.
I mean, it had a great theme song, and it was kind of funny, but that shit wasn't really... It was more about girls, like, counting how many calories they eat because they're traumatized about being overweight. Like, literally, there were, like, pop-ups that would show up, like, oh, I ate this yakisoba bread. Oh, it has 190 calories. It's just, like, it's fucking ridiculous. Moving on.
I agree.
That was rant-worthy, though. That I needed to get that out, clearly.
Yeah, definitely. Now, I do have one about Realist Hero, but I think that can wait for our review. Like, it's not really about anything in particular to Season 2, but I think I'll save that for later if we want to start moving on to other things in the show. So I go to my second thing on my list, which is as much as I love Kaguya-sama, and everybody thought the season finale was amazing, I found it disappointing.
Oh, shit. I love that you said that.
Now, not to say that I did not enjoy the season. I also found the finale pretty good. It's just... I found it more disappointing than other people. And I'm surprised that more people are not talking about the fact that, spoilers, if you have not seen the end of Kaguya-sama, I'm sorry, but I'm going to talk about spoilers. Yeah, they kiss, but you don't freaking see it!
Oh, come on.
Okay, so here's how they set it up. So, again, spoilers. I'm going to explain everything to Mitsugi, who doesn't really care anymore about Kaguya-sama, as we all know. Yeah, so it's like their cultural festival. It's a really good arc, very fun. But the thing is that Shirogane is planning to go to Stanford, and he's also in early admission. So he's going to be leaving a year early for college. And so this is putting a kind of like a ticking time bomb on him wanting to, start something with Kaguya. But the thing is that for whatever reason, he still is so stuck on not wanting to confess because Kaguya is so much better at everything than him, he feels like he should have this one thing. So he is like dead set on not confessing. Luckily for him, Kaguya is a little bit more willing to confess now at this point in their time together. So she's planning on confessing. But he also has something planned, like to have like this romantic meeting with her. So at the end of the season, they have this romantic meeting on top of the clock tower, and he lets out all these heart-shaped balloons as like a finale to the cultural festival. And he doesn't confess his love to her, but he does say, "This is what I feel about you." So very vague. So he doesn't say "I love you" or anything. So he's still winning that. And they do kiss, but a balloon flies in front of their faces, and you can't see it!
Oh my god. I'm so glad I'm not watching this anymore.
It's so irritating. Even Realist Hero had an on-screen kiss. Even Realist Hero.
It really did.
What
You're
the
right.
frick? Okay. And,
yes,
and on top
what the
of that,
frick, Caroline? Thank you. Because what are you, like 80 episodes in? Don't you deserve... Haven't you given 30 hours of your life?
At this point, we can have an on-screen kiss. Why not?
Well, haven't you...
And
listen, I'm going to ask you a question. It's an honest question. How many times do you get to live in this world?
Once.
How many... is your time not precious? Does it not matter?
It is very precious.
Did you not already spend a precious 30 hours? You probably could have learned a foreign language. Yes? Am I right?
I'm not saying that the anime was a waste.
Answer the question.
Fun. It's funny.
Answer the question.
I'm not saying that it's a waste. I'm just saying that when they are going to...
I will hold you in contempt. I will... God.
No, I'm not saying... Okay, no.
Order.
No, this is my hill. I get to die on this hill how I want. So I'm not saying that 3 seasons I spent on Kaguya-sama is a disappointment because this was it's so long in the making, because it is about the journey, not about the destination. And the journey's fun, it's funny, I like the characters, I find it enjoyable, and that's why I sunk so much time into Kaguya-sama. I'm just saying that if they are going to do this, they have to do it freaking right. And people were very excited, of course they were, because like, oh my god, milestone hit, yay! But we didn't see the milestone. And on top of that, they are still fighting for dominance! Up until the very end of the last episode of this season. They are still saying like, oh, but I'm not going to confess. Like, we're in a relationship, but I'm not going to confess first. Ha ha ha.
It's so tiresome.
You do see them hold hands and whatever. And you can call it a quirk of their relationship. But could they please just let it go? It's not that big of a deal. And let themselves enjoy a relationship with the time they have left instead of competing in something so stupid.
I mean, yeah. I mean, tell me about it. I was exhausted by it by the end of season 2. I was like, I've already spent 50... What is it? How many fucking episodes is this nonsense? Let me just double check here. Season 3 was 13... Season 2 was... They have the most ridiculous titles. I can't even figure out what the hell season I'm looking at. Season 2 had 12. Season 1 had 12.
I think it's 36. 36, yeah.
So you already watched, like, 12 hours of this. Do you not deserve a kiss?
Yeah. And
you deserve it.
Get it.
You deserve
it's
it.
like,
you deserve it, Caroline.
It just felt like a slap in the face. And again, a ton of people were just so excited about this episode. And I'm not gonna lie, it was exciting too, for me too. But it felt like it felt exactly like their relationship. Like, we're in a relationship now, but I'm not going to say it. They kissed, but we're not going to show it. It's like giving you something, but not going all the way. And it's really frustrating. So I'm not saying that I don't like Kaguya-sama, because when they come out with the next anime, I will be watching it. And I will not be like, oh, I hate that show. Not like you. But because I do like rom-coms and that kind of thing. So I will enjoy it. But I am going to say that it was disappointing. And I'm not sure why nobody else is this annoyed about it.
Sajinther says Dragon Ball had episodes that lasted 30 episodes. How is that the same? It isn't like they stood there and said they were going to fight for 30 episodes and then didn't. I don't know. It's nonsense. Here's a question for you. I'm sure season 4 will come out because there's going to be like 900 seasons just to like make me hate my life.
Well, he's going to college. He only has 1 year left, so they have a.
Oh, come on.
They have a deadline.
They'll go to the same college, whatever.
Oh, actually, no. That is another plot. That is another spoiler. He does convince Kaguya to try to go to Stanford.
Yeah, I'm sure he does. So, like, here's the question. So you've already been bitten in your ass because they already fucked you once, really 3 times, I'd say. Are you gonna watch season 4 wholeheartedly, expecting them to do something, or are you just gonna like continue to get like? Is it gonna be fool me twice? Shame on me. Are you on this roller coaster still?
Again, it's not about the destination for me. I just find the show to be enjoyable. Like, I find it fun. I like the characters. There are certainly other B plots and C plots going on that I'm interested in. So therefore, I am still gonna enjoy it. I just got angry that they gave us the milestone, but not really.
Season 4 of Kaguya-sama. You're at the end of the season. The boy, I don't even know what his name is. I don't care. The boy is in college. Kaguya is in, like, college. They're in different colleges. Let's just pretend this is true. They've already acknowledged secretly that they love each other, but they just couldn't tell other people. So things are getting hot and heavy. And they're like, now they're having, like, long-distance telephone, like FaceTime sex. And right before that special moment when Kaguya, she's gonna bear it all for the guy. Connection lost. Season over. Sorry, I was driving through a tunnel. I lost my connection. That's how it's gonna go down.
Why do you gotta make things so gross?
Well, that's pretty much the equivalent of having balloons fly up and blocking out the kiss. It's just that eventually it is. You got to become an adult eventually, and like adults have sex. It just does happen. It happens. Oh my god.
Well, it's not gonna happen in this show. That's for certain.
What the fuck is this guy's name? His name is
Shirogane.
Shirogane. The poor man. He has the most desperate blue balls ever. The seminal vesicles are just stuffed. They're gonna rupture. He's gonna die of seminal vesicle rupture. Kaguya is gonna go to jail for this. Did I just see a smile? Did you just smile?
No, but
Come
here's
on.
the thing. You're saying that Shirogane has blue balls, but
badly.
you're forgetting that there is a whole freaking episode where he and Kaguya-sama are like cuddling under the stars on a blanket.
Yeah.
Kaguya is like, oh my god, and then Shirogane is so, just so enthralled by the night sky that he's like, oh my god, look at that, Kaguya, when he is literally like in the most intimate position he has ever been with her. And he's freaking out. He doesn't notice. So it's not just him.
Man, that guy went home and
it's both of them.
He relieved himself in private later. Let's just say that. That
he
moment
was not paying attention. He did not see anything sexual about that.
He's a fucking 17-year-old boy. That went in the spank bank for sure.
Rewatch that episode and tell me you thought that he was in a sexual position
I'm just saying that if a guy loves a girl and they're snuggling under the stars and then nothing happens, that's going in the spank bank for later that night. 9 out of 10 times. As a man. Speaking,
he was not even paying attention to her.
Speaking from experience, frankly, I can't really recall, but I'm sure. Spank bank. All right, next up.
Okay.
I know you gotta expect this from me at this point, Caroline. It's just how things are.
I know I expect it, but I don't have any more jelly beans to take out.
Maybe you should go buy some. I'll pay for them.
I'm not do that.
We can put it on the podcast. Well, we write them off on the taxes. It'll be fine. Oh boy. I will say that Kaguya-sama is no longer the best anime of all time on my anime list. So.
Oh, it changed.
It's back to Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, which I haven't even seen. So, next up, much more PG rated, Raggedy Doctor. I know I'm very much the minority, but the hill I'll die on is that subs are superior to dubs because anime
are superior. No. He said dubs are superior to subs.
All right, okay.
Subs are.
All right, dubs are superior to subs because anime is a visual and audio medium. So subbed anime loses the nuances of voice acting and the subtitles distract from the visuals on screen. What do you think?
I could see where he's going with this because it's true sometimes it can be very frustrating to try and watch an anime when you're constantly trying to read subtitles, especially if an anime is very wordy if it has a lot of detail going on and you want to pay attention to what's happening on screen, but also know what the heck they're saying, I can see where he's coming from. But the thing is that the dub industry is not that great. There's not a lot of variety in voice actors, for one thing. You'll hear Bryce Papenbrook's voice in literally every single anime you ever see. But with Japanese voice actors, there's a ton of variety. And even though we can't understand the language they are saying, we can't notice the nuances of what the intonations of what they're saying, but at least they're different actors with different styles that you can kind of see a difference with how their acting styles are. And also, anime dialogue is just filled with cringy and not all that great dialogue. I will say that, especially in shonen shows. I will say that. And because of that, when it's subbed, it doesn't feel all that cringy, at least compared to when you hear it in your native language. That's just my opinion, but I can see where he's coming from.
For me, I understand the point. I understand that you can't keep up with the subtitles always and still see every single thing that happens on the screen. However, I don't consider myself a fast reader, and I don't really have an issue. Also, I think the English voice acting is often very terrible. It's often the same, like 25 actors over and over again, and they don't record together. They record like separately. So sometimes the inflections of like responses to questions or statements is completely wrong. Like you can just tell they're not speaking to each other. They're speaking like by themselves in a room. You know, like because like sometimes your voice will go up or down at the end of a sentence depending on, you know, what you're responding to, and they fuck that up a lot. And it just doesn't come out right, you know, and honestly, I don't really know that voice actors, this is going to shock people, but if you were like a Hollywood level famous genius Tom Hanks actor, you probably would be in movies and you wouldn't be a voice actor. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say I don't really mind that I can't pick up every nuance from the Japanese language because they're probably fucking it up left and right, and you know, I don't want to listen to a conversation that sounds like someone's talking to themselves. It just doesn't sound right half the time. I mean, fuck me. Great Teacher Onizuka, one of my favorite shows of all time. There's scenes in that anime where Steve Bloom is talking to himself. Like, I know it's him on both sides of the conversation. He's literally having a conversation with himself. It's just goofy shit. I don't know. Now, I will say, dubs are phenomenal when I have to get through a show and I can, like, put it on at work and, like, I'm programming or something while I'm listening to anime, or when I'm doing the dishes or cooking breakfast in the morning, I can just stick the phone up on the wall and watch it dubbed while I'm cooking. Like that is super great. Or late at night when I'm sleepy and I can't really read the subtitles fast enough to because I'm half asleep, I can still listen to the dub. That is fantastic. But if I have no choice whatsoever, I'll probably watch the subtitle because I just don't think the English dubs are good very often. I think it can detract from the show. Like, think about it. What is the name? Fucking guy's name? Black Clover, Asta. All he does is scream.
Asta, yeah.
Fucking screams all the time. He's terrible. You know, Realist Hero had terrible dubs. He was mentioned
in another person's hill they'll die on. That being that wimpy male characters are the worst trope in all anime. This is from God's Ball.
Okay, read it.
They say, wimpy male characters are the worst trope in all of anime, even more than moe girls, even more than accidentally landing in a girl's tits or vagina. Also, screaming main characters, i.e. Asta from Black Clover, are the worst written as well.
Yeah, I don't know. Screamy characters, they are annoying. Wimpy characters.
I hate when, especially like the girl characters do like the and when they were like, what? They do that thing. I hate it. I dislike it very much.
The thing that I hate is when characters don't react properly. Like, people will say to me, oh, why do you want anime characters to act like real people? Like, it's anime. Why don't you just go watch real TV? And I'm saying, well, I want to watch anime because I want to watch anime for the uniqueness that it brings. But when characters react in ways that aren't realistic to the situation, it just makes me feel like what I'm watching is stupid. Like, for example, fucking, oh God, I can't remember the names of anime that I hate. There's all these dating animes and stuff, and somebody will help me out in the Twitch, I'm sure. But like that show where the two girls got married, people got married like after they met for 5 minutes. Like you're old.
It was a
fucking A.
Tonokaku Kawaii.
Yeah, thank you, Tony Kawa. Thank you. This show's fucking terrible. If you're mature enough to get married, then you're mature enough to not have a fucking heart attack because you saw a girl's bra in her bedroom. And you're mature enough and more of a normal human to not scream everything you say or to my point, be a wimpy male character that just like collapses in on himself like a black hole because the girl like touched him. Like you're fucking married to this person. Be married or don't be married. But it's asinine to like see your wife's bra on a chair and like pee your pants over it because it's like such a monumental event in your life. Like give me a fucking break. Like I'm married now. I'm sorry. If I see Pancake's bra on a bed, I don't even, it doesn't even register to me that it's there. Like, I'm like, okay, whatever.
It's just like she wears.
But like, how can you get into a romance anime when the characters are so unbelievable and so wimpy that they can't even like function as normal human beings? I don't know. Personally, if I wanted to be an asshole, I'd say it's because the people that are making the animes probably never seen a bra either, and so they would freak out when they saw a bra. But that ain't what real life is like. It isn't. So deal with it.
They're just so stuck in these tropes, and I don't know why.
I don't know why either. It's ridiculous. It's just that's to my point of the first thing I bitched about. How anime is just so stuck in these ruts of like non-experimental, of just going through these conventional. But like, who is it that thinks that like a guy like having his head explode, like the top of his head fires like a rocket ship because he sees a girl's panties? Like who laughs at that? It's not me. I'm assuming it isn't you. It's not Mason. I know that. So it's none of us. So I don't know who the audience is that like is fueling this desire to put this content in anime, but it's killing anime. It is utter garbage. Utter garbage. Woo!
Well,
I don't feel this shot at all.
There's a lot we can still talk about. I will just like run down like the general idea of the rest of the Discord submissions. Like Marin is cool and all, but Ryoko is the best girl of all time. Bill Dandy is the best waifu. Mobile Suit Gundam, Iron Blooded Orphans is hands down the best all-around mecha anime ever made, with exception of Neon Genesis Evangelion and maybe Ghost in the Shell. 86 is a masterpiece of art, cinematography, and direction. And General Mills says that all food can be categorized as a sandwich or a salad, which, I mean,
what?
He's not wrong.
All food?
All food.
I mean, that's pretty funny.
Can you think of something that might be an outlier? Like pasta could be considered a salad.
I don't fucking know.
Soup, also a very watery salad. Yeah, it's a good idea. But although that manga are just storyboards for anime, which I mean, I don't know. And TV ending of Evangelion is the best ending. And also never skip the anime openings. So thank you to everyone that sent in their own hills that they'll die on. And yeah, that was really fun. Let's head into the in-show weekly trivia question. General Carmine from Realist Hero Parts 1 and 2 has the physical appearance of what animal? We'll head into the news break. I'll get some more of my alcoholic drink we'll tell you the answer.
Bye, guys. Hey, Anime Addicts, Mitsugi is here, and I am bringing you your anime news break, starting off with some Dragon Ball Super Hero. The film has come out in North America, and it is already a top 5 all-time anime film in the United States. Actually, for the week of the 19th through the 25th of August, Dragon Ball Superhero was actually the #1 film in America, grossing over $30 million USD, which is pretty impressive. There are only a few films that have ever earned that amount of money in their opening weekend in the U.S. One of them was Pokemon, the first movie, which had a $31 million released, and the other one was the Demon Slayer Mugen Train film. So this is a pretty huge amount of money for the Dragon Ball Super film, and if you want to hear more about that, you'll be hearing about it in our upcoming segment here on the podcast, Unexplored Pictures. Next up, a new anime adaptation is coming out. The manga Romantic Killer gets an anime adaptation. Netflix announced that this anime adaptation of Wataru Momose's manga is going to be coming out on Netflix. The director is Kazuya Ichikawa of Subarashiki Kono Sekai, the animation at Studio Domerica. It's being planned with production by Netflix. The synopsis is that when gamer Anzu gets transported to a world of hot guys, it's like she's in a dream of someone else's dream. High schooler Anzu Hoshino has a great life, except when every day she plays video games, pigs out on snacks, and pets her beloved cat, but this blissful existence is turned into a confusing mess when a magical creature transports her into an altered reality, bereft of her favorite things. So we will have to see how this apparent comedy pans out when it comes out on Netflix later on. Next up, it looks like the Haikyuu voice actor Soma Saito is publishing his first light novel. So this was announced on Fuji TV's Typewriters, Monokaki no Sekai, which is a variety show that comes out on Saturdays in Japan. Saito described his novel as, quote, a slightly mysterious story. It is a short novel that has about 400 Japanese characters per page, roughly the equivalent to 10,000 English words. So Saito has voiced characters in Haikyuu such as Tadashi Yamaguchi and a ton of other roles. So if you're a fan of this voice actor, maybe you'll be able to find this novel that he is writing coming out sometime in the future. And lastly, the controversial Dragon Quest composer is getting a TV drama about his life. Koichi Sugiyama, known primarily for his work in the long-running Dragon Quest series, is going to be the subject of a live-action television drama that's going to star Ken Yasuda, who was in the live-action of Gintama, as Sugiyama, and detail the story behind the composer's involvement in Dragon Quest and the creation of the iconic Overture Lotos theme piece of music. So this is the first song ushering in the athletes in the Parade of Nations during the Tokyo Olympics ceremony in July of 2021. So pretty interesting if you're a fan of Dragon Quest, or if you just love the music from Dragon Quest. Look out for this live-action drama of Koichi Sugiyama coming out in the future as well. It's going to be airing on NTV's 24 Jikan Terebi 45, or the 24-hour TV 45 program. This was Mitsugi, and this was your anime news break. And now, time to get back to the podcast. Here you are, jogging. Beautiful weather indeed, and you're looking good too, I might add. The blood is pumping, and so are these AAA podcast vibes.
Mitsugi, I want to take my balls out and lube up your head.
That is until your favorite podcast ends. Now you'll be left with no choice but to listen to the placid magnificence of nature. But you're a stink meaner.
Man, this some old bullshit.
If only you had the AAA podcast's extra content, you wouldn't be forced to enjoy nature at all. We'd carry you all the way through the rest of your jog with our hentai episodes, our hobby addicts, and our after parties. Over 900 additional episodes of content. You think jogging gets your blood pumping? Just wait till you listen to some hentai episodes. And you'll be helping out the podcast as well. Plus, your grumpy ass won't be chasing birds anymore. Shut up, you noisy little shit. Don't be grumpy. Head over to aapodcast.com/join or patreon.com today and help out the podcast. Again, that's aapodcast.com/join or Patreon.
Hi, this is Tiffany Grant. Remember me? Oscar Langley Soryu. Anyway, I'm a total anime addict, and if you're not listening to Anime Addicts Anonymous, what are you, stupid?
Welcome back to the podcast. When we left you, we had a trivia question. General Carmine from Realist Hero Parts 1 and 2 has the physical appearance of what animal? It's a lion, baby.
Roar.
And right now, when you subscribe to the podcast over at aaapodcast.com/join or Patreon, you're going to get access to our exclusive RSS feed. It's going to give you access to our 8 exclusive podcasts per month on your favorite podcast apps. Could be Podcast Addict, Pocket Casts, Apple Podcasts, CastBox, whatever you use, it works. And you'll be getting 8 additional episodes per month for less than $1 an episode. You'll never run out of content, so get over there and get that exclusive RSS feed. Ah, yes, very nice. And yep, and again, you'll get to hear what kind of cross-dressing cosplay I have chosen for Halloween this year. It's gonna be pretty funny. And now it's time for Unexplored Pictures with Mitsugi.
Get your popcorn ready. It's time for Unexplored Pictures with Mason.
With Mitsugi, as I say. Dragon Ball Superhero came out. It was like 10 days ago or so. I finally got to watch it. I went to see it on Tuesday because Movie Tavern has $5 movies and free popcorn on Tuesdays. Not sponsored by Movie Tavern, so it's a pretty great deal. I went over there and watched it. My first thought watching Dragon Ball Superhero, besides the fact that I love Dragon Ball and I've seen every movie and pretty much every episode of all the series, which is getting up there in numbers now. It's not quite as long as One Piece, but it's almost as long. Is that the movie is entirely in CG. So people don't like that usually, but I will say that it looks good, though, in CG, and I will say that while it's not my preference, it did kind of resemble some of the CG you'd see in like some of the fighting games. So it really didn't have that much of an impact, and I would say that after about 20 minutes, I barely even noticed anymore. So don't be too shocked by that. Maybe you've heard that it's in CG and you're passing on seeing it, but I would honestly say that it's not worth worrying about that much. And as you'll recall, the last few movies have at least been partially in CG, so they've been heading in that direction anyway. I did. The chat is asking. I watched it dubbed. That was the only option given to me, which is kind of how I prefer it anyway, because I grew up watching the Funimation dubs, and I know all the voices by heart, and it's just very nostalgic and nice for me in that way. Although I do love Goku's voice actress. You know, she's like 88 years old, but Goku's barely in the movie anyway. The movie is very much about Piccolo and Gohan, which is very interesting. It's kind of a combo that I don't know that's ever happened before in Dragon Ball movies. It's almost always about Goku and clear up through Broly. Like, it's pretty much about Goku. And Goku saves the day, everyone else fights, but they all get their asses beaten, and then Goku shows up and saves the day. Or like in a lot of the movies, including the first Broly movie, everyone's pretty much dead, and then they give Goku their last of their energy, and then he uses their energy to, beat Broly or whatever. But Goku and Vegeta are pretty much not in this movie at all. They're in it for like 5 minutes to have a mandatory fight scene between Goku and Vegeta, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But it's really about Goku and Piccolo. Basically, the Red Ribbon Army has created more androids. So they still have these designs on world domination. Really, they're masquerading as like a normal company, but Dr. Giro's cousin or nephew or whatever gets out of prison, and they pick him up and coerce him into helping them make androids to continue their aim on world domination. So they make these 2 androids, and and they basically fight. That's pretty much the movie. They kidnap. That's
interesting for a Dragon Ball.
Yeah, pretty much. It's not too complicated. They kidnap Goku. They kidnap Gohan's daughter, Pan, who has been training with Piccolo, and it's very heartwarming because Piccolo trained Gohan, and Pan is the new generation, and so he's training Pan, and Piccolo is such a father/grandfather figure. I don't know how he accomplished this, but ever since Dragon Ball started, he's basically been, since Dragon Ball Z, I should say, Piccolo has been like a father figure. Much better of a father than Goku, and most every Dragon Ball fan will acknowledge this, even though he has no kids of his own. And so, they kidnap Gohan's daughter, and that pisses off Gohan. That gets Gohan involved because Gohan had no interest in really doing anything. He's just like studying and doing like work, like projects for work. And they fight the androids, and it's pretty cool. The fight scenes are great as usual. I don't know that they'd be able to make such well-animated fight scenes if it wasn't in CG. So I don't know exactly, but Toei Animation seems to cut corners a lot, and as we all know from Dragon Ball Super, it was kind of a joke around the internet for a while how terrible it looked. But this movie definitely looks pretty good. But the movie doesn't take itself seriously at all. So like silly things happen all throughout the movie. Like Piccolo breaks the fourth wall a couple times, which is pretty weird. Piccolo himself is fairly goofy in the movie. He's a serious character, but he's also silly. The things that they wish for with the Eternal Dragon when they do summon it is just absolutely just not unprecedented for Dragon Ball, but totally silly. There are villains that eat like nothing but Oreo cookies. Like it's just stupid shit like that. That I don't know. Just it's a lot like Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball hasn't taken itself seriously in a long time. And you got like the God of Destruction is obsessed with eating like ice cream. Like it's just like silly things. Half their names are like after food. But it pretty much maintains all that. The only thing about the movie I really didn't think was very good, other than just being a fairly standard film, is that they definitely have injected some power-ups / evolutions for characters that are relevant in this movie that feel artificial, that they've clearly added simply to make previously irrelevant characters that used to be relevant but then became irrelevant during Super. To make them relevant again, they have forced evolutions and things into the show to make to power them up, basically. And, it's probably obvious by now, and I'm not going to give a lot of detail about it, but, Piccolo and Gohan do get more powerful in this movie. That's pretty much how they're able to overcome the villains. But I will say that the movie did feel better without Goku and Vegeta. And I know that's kind of weird because Goku is probably my favorite anime character ever. But without them, you actually had some contests again to fight over. Because Goku at this point is so powerful that he would basically breathe wrong. He'd sneeze too hard and half the planets in the solar system would explode. Like that's pretty much how strong he is, not exaggerating. I mean, Frieza was able to destroy a planet with like a ball of energy off of his finger hundreds of episodes ago. And Frieza the Frieza then would be completely irrelevant now. So Goku could probably, I think they almost destroyed the entire universe in Dragon Ball Super at the end because their fight was so intense that like the energy would rip the universe in half or some shit. We're like passing Superman levels of insane at this point. So to take them out of the equation really has allowed other characters to become relevant again and to, be interesting. Like, for example, previously, like, I don't know, Android 18 would have been irrelevant because she would never be able to fight on the level that Goku did. But she's in the movie, she does fight, and she's not totally irrelevant. So, like, there is some stuff in this movie that makes it worth watching. The movie has no fan service whatsoever. The theme song is quite awesome. I love the theme song. It definitely feels like a superhero theme song. It's super cool. And ultimately, I think the movie was pretty good. It was definitely worth the price of admission. I just said in the news break, it was the top grossing film in the U.S. period last week. Not even just like anime movies. It was the top grossing film. Like fuck Top Gun, fuck everything else, fuck Marvel. Dragon Ball was top for the week. So suck it. And I don't know how much further it's going to go. It'll never pass Demon Slayer, but it might pass Demon Slayer in the United States. Demon Slayer sold like 1 trillion tickets in Japan for absolute, for no reason in my opinion. But, it'll never beat Demon Slayer, but it might beat Demon Slayer in the U.S. I think it's absolutely worth watching. Is it a movie theater worthy movie? I'm not quite sure. If you like going to the movies like I do, it probably is worth it. All in all, I thought Dragon Ball Super was pretty good. It was better than Dragon Ball Evolution. Obviously. It was better than Dragon Ball Battle of the Gods. It was, probably better than the Broly movie. And I would say it was maybe just about as good as the Frieza movie, in my opinion. Some people like the Broly movie better than Frieza. I like the Frieza movie better. I like Frieza. I think Frieza's the best Dragon Ball villain. So it was a good movie. I'd probably give it like, I don't know, 3.5 Dragon Balls out of 5. It was a solid film. Most of the Dragon Ball movies are not very good. There's like, at this point, probably 17 or 18 of them. I don't know exactly. But most of them are mediocre. History of Trunks is still the best OVA/movie Dragon Ball has to offer, even though it's like old as hell by now. But this movie was worth it. And I encourage fans of Dragon Ball to go watch it, because we would like to have more Dragon Ball movies, and we'd like to have more Dragon Ball Super. And the only thing that's going to make that happen is money. So go see it if you want to see it. I encourage you. All in all, Dragon Ball is alive and well in its 33rd year, which is pretty awesome. So, and that's about it. That was your Unexplored Pictures, and I'm pretty sure that Pancake and I are going to do an extended podcast on this later, because I likely won't be here next week, and we may not be recording next week. So in order to fill that gap for you guys, there will be some extra content for you. And with that, time for mailbags.
It's time for an almighty anime mailbag. Anime.
Mailbag.
If you'd like to submit an anime mailbag, make sure you do so at AAApodcast.com. Just click on the mailbag button and send anything you want. A little query, a little conversation starter, questions about the podcast, questions about our taste in anime, anything you want. Like King KGR, sorry, it's the whiskey. What can I say?
Oh, the whiskey.
King KJR. Oh. So this person says, pardons if you've answered this question before. What would each of you consider to be the worst anime of all time? Or the WOT, if you will. Jesus. Not just the season, year, or decade, but absolutely, in your opinion, of course. All joking aside, the nadir of the art form, I'm not familiar with that word, in every way. Thanks for all your efforts. You have definitely made my anime addiction worse. Thank you very much, King why can't I say it? King CJR. Mitsugi, what are your thoughts?
Honestly, I'm going to have to say Garzy's Wing might be the worst. It's fucking terrible.
But it's so funnily bad. It's so funny.
Terrible. Tekken,
it's bad.
Maybe even worse, Tekken the movie is really fucking terrible. I mean, that is... Wow. Tekken the movie is... Jesus. How old is this movie? Most people don't even know what I'm talking about. Everybody knows Garzy's Wing.
I'm
it's
not
like
familiar.
This. Yeah, everyone knows Garzy's Wing. It's like this joke. But in 1998, in OVA... Is this the right one? God, I feel like it's got a 9. It's got a 5.2 on my anime list, and I swear that's too strong. Oh man, I'm not sure if this is the right one. I'm not sure if this is the right one or not. But Tekken the movie, or the motion picture, is so bad that it's barely animated at all. It's astonishingly terrible. It's fucking worth the drop. You don't like eating dog shit? Here you go. It's really, really fucking terrible. And yeah, it's just the shocking stuff. So I'm gonna go with those two.
But with Garzy's Wing, it is bad.
Yeah, it's bad.
Does it get any credit for being so bad that it's funny?
I don't know. I just don't know. Years ago I would have said Most Dangerous Geist, but because it is terrible. But Geist has like these surprisingly good like soundtrack pieces in their soundtrack, and Geist has these low-key good character designs, especially for like the armor and stuff. Like I don't know who the fuck worked on that armor. That it's hard to say that anymore. And also Geist is just like laughably bad too. So maybe Tekken the movie, I'm gonna say, because you seem to think Garzy's Wing is funny. Tekken the movie is not funny. It's just dog shit.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with it. So
well, good. You're better off. Okay. And I'm gonna check. I'm gonna watch this trailer real quick here while you're talking, because I want to make sure this is the right thing, because I will recognize it if it's the right Tekken move thing, because there's more than one Tekken anime. But this is, oh boy, it's really bad. All right, so why don't you give yours?
Well, people who know me know that there are many anime that I am famous for hating on, for absolutely despising. One of them being, of course, Realist Hero. Let's not forget. Others being Remain, Remake Your Life, Sound of the Sky. There are a White Album too. All of these I absolutely hate, and I do not ever want to watch ever again.
Sound of the Sky.
But one that I don't really talk about too often, but I did watch for Anime Club, and I definitely laid into there, and it is my lowest ranked anime. It is Natsuyuki Rendezvous. Have you seen this anime?
No. Am I better off?
So there isn't anything, completely obvious, egregious about the show. When you read the description, when you see what it looks like any other, general anime. And the plot actually sounds pretty interesting. It is about a woman who lost her first husband, and she meets this younger guy who starts working at her flower shop because this guy really likes her and wants to try to have a relationship with her. Then he meets the ghost of her first husband because he just cannot leave her be. So it's all about him trying to act on his feelings, but with the ghost of her first husband kind of getting in the way of that. And and it sounds like something I would enjoy. Hence is the reason why I think I voted to watch it in the first place. But I think that really drives it home why I hate the show, because it's such a fucking disappointment. It's a disappointment. Not only that, I hate all of the characters. They're all bad.
Not a single one is good?
Okay, I guess you could say that the main girl character, she's okay. Because she is kind of like a victim in this situation. But the ghost, a terrible person. This guy that he wants to pursue a relationship with her, also a terrible person. And the situation is just such a fucking terrible love triangle between this guy who's dead, who also wants his wife to die. You could say that, I don't know, it's kind of like a ghost trauma thing. He becomes evil when he's a ghost. I don't know. Who cares? They're all terrible. I hated this show. So that is my worst anime of all time.
All right. Well, your opinions are of hating things is just as valid as mine. So thank you for that. If you want to leave a mailbag, aaapodcast.com/mailbag. We'll get you there. Now for the second mailbag, Prosomo. What's a series that you dropped because based on other people asking for it, but it made you... Let me try this again. The alcohol that I can't feel, apparently, it prevents me from speaking.
We have become very good podcast hosts.
This fucking... this thing is...
responsible.
I drank one of these fucking things on top of Mount Antero in Colorado, which is like the 10th tallest point in the U.S. And I didn't feel it then either. So that one was blue raspberry. This thing, oh my God, my breath would light shit on fire. That's how intense this was, but I can't feel it. That's what happens when you live in Colorado. Your blood thickens, and alcohol just doesn't hit you the way it would. What's the series that you drop, but based on other people asking for it, made you watch it, and you realized that it wasn't as bad as your previous thought? This is a tough one. I really struggled, and I'm going to say Avatar: The Last Airbender because I wrote it off as being horseshit Nickelodeon trash. And even though I still find it mediocre, I don't think it's as bad as I originally thought.
I take it.
I did have to sit through a whole season of Airbender. It does look like shit.
It doesn't look like shit.
It does, Caroline. It looks like shit.
It has really good fight choreography.
Well, I'm not necessarily talking about that. It just looks like a really low budget show from the 90s. I don't even think it's that old, but it's Nickelodeon. I don't know.
It's from 2005.
Yeah. So, but it wasn't as bad as I thought. There you go.
Thank you. Thank you.
Rainbow Warrior says, I thought in Denver it was easier to get drunk. It is, but when you're in Denver for a while, your alcohol tolerance goes up very fast because you're living at altitude. So if I go back to like Florida, it'll take like 10 shots of tequila to get me drunk. I'm not bragging. It's a pain in the ass, actually. I'm just saying that's how it is. How about you, Caroline? Do you have an answer for this?
Unfortunately, I thought about it. I can't think of an actual example for this. I mean, there aren't a lot of anime that I've dropped that I ended up going back to for some reason. I feel like there are probably some shows that I initially thought was one thing, ended up being a lot better than I expected. Unfortunately, I can't think of an example, so I'm sorry, but there probably has been situations like, you know, oh, I got the first impression of a show just based on the plot or seeing like little sneak peeks of it here and there. I made an assumption about it, and then I ended up watching it and it ended up being better than it was. I don't know, though. I can't think of an example specifically.
All right. Well, again, at AAApodcast.com/mailbag, you can write anything you want. Although we are really behind, a mailbag cleanup episode might be in the works because, although we do love you, there are some people writing like dozens of mailbags, and we just can't get to them all. But
you're just so curious.
Yeah, we love you anyway. Okay. Time for the moment you've all been waiting for. This is when like the Twitch audience drops to like 8. How a realist kingdom rebuilt the kingdom. How a realist hero. How a realist hero rebuilt the kingdom, part 2. Otherwise, in Japanese, known as, this is a hilariously long title, Genjitsu Shugi Yusha no Okoku Sai Kenki, part 2. That's not so bad.
Nice.
Yeah. Listen, if I can't at least pronounce Japanese after living in Japan for 2 years, then I am truly worthless. So, this is our.
Well, you are also like a little jazzed at the moment, so.
Well, yeah. Maybe a little. Yeah. This is our last Winter 22 anime. We are done with them, and I gotta say, Winter 2022 sucked, and Spring 2022 is way better. So, I'm looking forward to some of the good anime we got coming up. But this was a listener choice show.
We're finally finishing up on Winter. This is the last one from Winter.
Yeah, I just said that. It's done.
About time.
It's done, baby.
It's
done.
Save the best for last.
Oh, we just lost one person on Twitch. Here it goes. So now this was a listener choice anime, and I want to know how, Caroline, do you feel like this happened?
Probably because
I'm not
people
blaming
knew
you,
how much
but-
I hated it, and then they went forward in the poll. I mean, there really wasn't a ton to pick from that season, to be fair. So why not let us suffer a little bit more so they can laugh at us, or laugh at me, probably.
I see.
I could have gotten out of this. I could have gotten out of this review. But let it be known that I knew people were looking forward to me shitting on this show again. And I didn't want to take away what they wanted. So here I am.
Fair enough. So I watched this on Verve, which, like, Funimation, like, I watched an issue D last night. Funimation's like, Crunchyroll is the new Funimation. Like, boy, when are they going to fucking just move it over already? Honestly, it's like...
I think they have. I think
well, they need to
from
just disable Funimation then, because it's over. Like, it's wrap it up. Wrap it up, B. It's over. Watch this on Verve. Together with his talented aides, the realist hero, Kazuya Soma, continues his quest of reinvigorating the Elfrieden Kingdom through administrative reform. It's pretty much the whole plot right there. Having successfully conquered Van, the capital of the Principality of Amendonia, Kazuya now faces the envoy from Grand Chaos Empire who wishes to impose punishment for breaching the ban on war established by the Mankind Declaration Treaty. I'm going to stop there. It's done by JC Staff, which is not the same studio that did the first season, because the first season, I believe, was done by Dio Medea. But I'm gonna double check that because I know it changed, but I'm not 100% sure I got that right. Oh, they're both JC Staff. Well, what the fuck do I know? There you go. But both JC Staff. Director is Takashi Watanabe, who directed a lot of Iki Tosen and Shakugan no Shana stuff, and it is based on a light novel. Now, Caroline, what were your expectations going into Realist Hero? Now, I know you were excited.
I expected it to be more bland main character acting as if he knows everything when he is literally fresh out of high school and just apparently memorized The Prince 1,000 times over. And I expected more big-breasted women to join his harem, and that is the end of it.
I see. Very interesting. Okay. I expected more of the same, honestly. Frankly, I was kind of hoping for more of the same because I actually didn't hate the first season of this anime at all. What did I give it? Like a 3? Let me see here. A 3. I'm hunting for a 3 here. Hunting for a 3. I gave it a 3.
Actually, I looked back earlier. You did give it a 3.
And you gave it
I gave it a 0.5.
You did. So I was hoping for more of the same, honestly, because I don't think a 3 is that bad. And, I have a business degree and a master's in business, and I enjoy when these shows talk about like economics and stuff like that sometimes, if it's not too dry. And they did a bit of that in the first season, so I was kind of hoping for more. Now, would you recommend this season 2, Caroline?
No.
Oh, come on.
What more is there to say?
Come on.
It's not. There are so many isekai out there. So many of them.
Too many.
A lot of them follow the same tropey conventions that this one does. But there are also a lot of good isekai out there. There are so many choices. This is not the one to choose. I can't say if Genius Prince would be better because I didn't watch it, but I probably wouldn't like it either based on how much I liked this one. I'm just saying that if you are a big fan of isekai and you love this main character that you've seen a million times and you love seeing all these women surrounding a self-insert character for obvious reasons, then congrats, you're gonna love it. But I can't find myself ever loving something so bland as watching paint dry like this, with some casual misogyny thrown in there for good health.
I actually also do not recommend this anime. I don't think it's as good as season 1. I found it far less interesting. Some episodes were complete throwaways. To the start and finish, or in my opinion, actually the beginning 3 episodes of this were the best of the season. I thought after the first 3 episodes, combined with the fact that the second season has a better score than the first season, my thought was, wow, this is actually going to be decent. And I was like, wow, maybe even Caroline and Mason won't hate this. But it didn't. It did not hang in there.
You didn't think that, did you?
Well, I mean,
you didn't think.
There's just some political stuff that makes sense in this anime. And since this is the first 3 episodes, I'll say it right now. Like, the Demon Kingdom comes in and starts conquering the parts of their continent. And so they say, oh, we're going to not fight the kingdom. We're going to not fight amongst ourselves. We're going to team up. We're going to make a treaty amongst the nations and fight against the demons. So they say, oh, if any war happens that causes countries' borders to change, that's not allowed. And at the end of the last season, there was a war and the country's borders changed. So the second season starts with the Empire going to Soma's kingdom and saying, you can't fucking do this. And so they have like this whole 2-episode thing where they try to hash out like how to resolve the aggressive kingdom losing the war.
Yeah.
And I'm like, because they don't want to create a precedent where the kingdoms are suddenly fighting against themselves again because they can't really afford that. So I was like, this actually makes some sense. And then they wanted to make.
But maybe we should.
Okay.
I'll have more to say on this, but should we move into?
Yeah, we can.
Or sorry, go ahead. I realized I interrupted you. Oh.
I mean, we can go to spoilers. It's fine. But
Did you actually say your spoiler-free recommendation?
Yeah, I said I wouldn't recommend it.
Oh,
it's
okay,
not as good.
So I'm sorry. Yes, but I do have something I want to say regarding that. That was an interesting plot point compared to others. Yeah. And in a different show, I think I would have found that very interesting.
Yeah, but
the problem is that I hate all of the characters. And I don't care about their countries. So, and when I'm in like the slog of hearing Soma talk forever, and then it's just, should I get into my hill I die on rant that I wrote up earlier?
Well,
because I do mention something.
Save it for a few minutes. Because I just want to say,
yeah.
I just want to say that that whole first section I'll call it arc 1 of them making reparations. Like, we'll give you your border back, but you got to like make reparations, which is 2 years of your country's like gross domestic budget or whatever, and all this. Like, to me, that first part of the season was a very coherent, political,
it made sense.
strategic thing that made sense with the Empire. Trying to fight off the demons. But I will say that, first of all, the show doesn't hold up that level of intelligence going forward at all. And also, they never show the demon kingdom ever. Still. Like, the whole show's purpose is this kingdom came in that was a demon kingdom, and we have to like fight them and defend our territory. And they even talk about how like, oh, if they come into this if they invade, they'll hit this mountain and they're going to split to the west and the east. If it goes west, the Empire will take care of them. If it goes east, maybe the Elfrieden can take care of them. But none of that shit matters because they never get to it. It's just very frustrating.
They also make this like huge, big revelation, like, oh my God, Soma, you shouldn't have said that. That's a dangerous thing to think about. Is the fact that, or he's like, what if, like, monsters are to demons as animals are to us?
Yeah, that was intense.
Apparently, this is like the most controversial and like mind-blowing thing they could have possibly discussed in this show. And they made it the biggest deal ever. And yet I'm like, so? Makes sense. Like, you guys have been dealing with this situation for how long and you didn't think of that possibility? And also, why does it matter?
Yeah, I mean, I hear you there. I kind of understood, though, because they have beast men that are like citizens.
Okay.
And if you're calling the beast men
they're not
demons.
Animals. They're not human, but they're not animals.
I guess it would be I'm not trying to be offensive here, I swear. Like, this is just like a trope.
I know.
This is a trope that people say in real life that, personally, I don't agree with because it doesn't apply to me personally. People will say, oh, like, all Asian people look the same. I can tell Japanese people from Chinese people or from Korean people because I lived in Japan. But that's just a cliche people say. To me, that's what he meant. He's like, oh, I can't tell the difference between beast people and the demons. And then everybody's like, oh my God. But like, to your point, like, I don't know how that played a role in the show at all. And by the way, not all Asian people look the same. It's stupid. You know? That's like saying all Europeans look the same. I don't fucking know. It's stupid to say that. But that's what he meant. That's kind of the equivalent, I thought. But that didn't have any...
That's what I thought they were going towards. But it didn't really make... It kind of sounded confused. Toward, like, when the more they talked about it, it didn't really sound as if that's exactly the point. But either way, it didn't make any importance.
Well, it had no impact. It didn't mean anything. It was just a throwaway comment that like never applied beyond the next 20 minutes of the show.
It was just another thing for all the female characters to go, omoshiroi. Wow, Soma, you're so amazing. Like, you bring in so many new perspectives. Oh my God. You guys have been dealing with the problem for how long? Who? No wonder you are getting overrun with this problem because you guys are so stupid.
Yeah, I don't know. It's there were so many throwaway episodes in this. There were okay episodes, but then they were really terrible episodes. There were several episodes in the middle I can't even remember. Like, the whole episode...
It's all been a huge blur to me. It doesn't help that I did binge through a lot of episodes because I was running late. I binged through a lot of the episodes at the start of the weekend on our Discord with some wine, and that was the best way to get through it.
There were some episodes that I thought were good. I thought that the episode where they start teaching the slaves how to, like, read and write and do math so that they can, like, become... like, not slaves. I thought that was a good episode. Still didn't go anywhere, really. It ended up being like, oh, we're going to use this as a launching point for teaching everybody how to do math and read and whatever because literacy is good. So I thought that was good. I don't know why isekai are so obsessed with slaves now.
But yeah, they really are.
I've now seen 4 isekai in a row where they have slave girls. I'm like, what? It's like,
and
why did this suddenly become a thing?
Not only do we have a population of slaves in this world, which kind of makes sense, Soma literally designates one of his prisoners, the girl, as a slave.
Yeah, well, it was either
says
that or
you-
kill her. But I mean,
Sure, like
yeah.
there was a worse alternative, but not be a servant in the castle, not be my aide and do whatever I say. No, he literally uses the word slaves.
Yeah.
That does not jive with me.
To be honest, I mean, I don't know. Soma is about as uninterested in sex as anybody ever could be in anime, so at least he's not the guy from the Isekai Harem show, which was also listener choice, and I'm sure that one's not going to be as easy to look past, but I just don't understand why. Like, I don't even think that the plot device of a slave is not even interesting. Like, I don't even know why include it. I don't understand. All it does is make people...
To hit all those fetishes.
It just makes people angry, I guess. Fetishes? I guess. I don't know. The other episode I thought was good, and mostly because I thought it was actually funny, was at the end when the girl is teaching his 4 wives, which is unbelievably stupid. Your prediction came true. Teaching the 4 wives.
Not even just anyone. One of the wives' grandmother is teaching her how to go down on Soma.
Yeah, it was nighttime services, and they're like telling the girls what he really thinks of them after he's like been put under an honesty spell, and then she's gonna like give out these handbooks about how to like perform like good sexual act, like be a good like give good BJs or whatever.
Meanwhile, the 4th wife, she's only they've only known each other for like a matter of days, and he already has specific things that he feels about her, and apparently things that he wants her to do to him.
Yeah.
In a matter of days, and she looked like she's 14.
In the defense of that, honestly, like she and the blonde girl were the only 2 that made sense, because she was at least she was at least royalty from another kingdom, and it was like basically a marriage of convenience. The blue girl, Juna,
And also,
she
actually has, she doesn't really even want to be a queen. She just wants to be a very successful businesswoman, which I respect.
Yeah, I mean, she was talking some good finance talk, and he noted that. But the blue-haired girl, Juna or whatever, she is hot, but like I don't know why she's his wife. She's basically like a girl that sings in a bar, and then
because she's beautiful and perfect in his
I guess
ways.
I mean, she's basically the.
But he can't marry her yet, because apparently, if the kingdom's idol is married, according to Soma, that will incite violence if she gets married. That's so stupid.
I just feel bad for these girls because Soma is so uninterested in sex that there's no fucking... Man, you would have to be very virile. What is the word? Virile? I don't know. You would have to be a sexual dynamo to satisfy 4 young women. I mean, that is not going to be easy.
Here he is in his little cardigan.
And he
He's
can't.
like, no way.
He can't. He's not going to be able to satisfy even. Yes, virile. Is that the right word? Let me look at V I R I L E. Virile. Having strength, energy. Okay, I was correct. Thank you, Captain Avatar, for confirming that I was right. Having strength, energy, and a strong sex drive. He is not remotely virile enough to satisfy these girls, and yet he has 4 of them. This is going to be massive problems. He's going to be like that Japanese porn star that put out that plea to the world, because Japan has like 100,000 Japanese porn stars that are women, and there's like 10 that are men, and this guy's like dying because he just like can't keep up. Soma is gonna have to hire like sex workers to like satisfy his wives, because he's not gonna be able to handle it. He just isn't. But he does kiss one of them. He does kiss one of them.
I will give him that. I was surprised that they actually shared a kiss. But, like, he is the least interested in sex. Like,
yeah.
You show him being so busy all the time, never really thinking about relationships, like, shying away from any conversation of getting into, like, he never really proposes to get married to anyone. It's just out of convenience and out of favors, really, that he get quote unquote married to anyone. So no, he does not really want to have he doesn't really show wanting to have a sexual relationship, and yet he has enough to fill out entire journals to give out to each girl specific directions on what he wants done. And I was just waiting for like a joke that, in fact, everything in these journals are just, business things he wants done and not at all sexual things.
Let's see what else. I didn't understand there's some episodes I just didn't get. Like I didn't get the one with the like Native Americans that were really clichély like characterized.
Yeah, that
was weird.
A little stereotypical. That did not need to happen.
Yeah, that was a very weird episode, and it contributed nothing, by the way. See, the reason why I don't think this season was as good as the first one was because it wasn't as active. Like this show was more content just sitting in a room talking for a whole episode, whereas the last one had like the cooking channel that was like goofy. Then they were building that road that had the lanterns that warded off the monsters. Then they had a whole fucking war with like dragons blowing up castles and shit. They had all that going on. This one just didn't have any of that. Like it lacked activity. It lacked pacing. And to me, that was a big issue because it wasn't engaging enough to hold interest. And why it has a better score than the first season, I don't know. And
because people who liked the first season watched the second, people who didn't like the first season didn't watch the second.
And to be honest with you, Caroline, this show could have like 10 seasons because I don't think it will, but it could because there's an awful lot to running like a business or a kingdom. For God's sake, they could spend a whole fucking episode, a whole season just on like marketing. Like they mentioned that in this season, like, oh, marketing, we're going to do commercials on the magic crystals or whatever. Like they could do a whole season on that. So like it will end. I doubt there's a season 3 coming. I don't know how there could be at this point. Like it's pretty much dead. But yeah, I don't know. It's not good. Do you have anything else you want to say?
Good. Well, I have this whole thing that I wrote up earlier for the hill I die on.
Well, you might as well do it.
There is nothing redeemable about Realist Hero. And here's why. Dark-haired high schooler gets transported to another world, is the only hope to save it, is a shining light of common sense in a world full of idiots, and instantaneously gains a huge harem of women that find his blandness and common sense very appealing. That is every isekai ever. He doesn't have OP superpowers and is uncoordinated, so he can't fight. So he'll just complain about how uncool it is, he uses those words, to be protected by a woman, despite the fact that he employed this woman specifically to protect him. And yet, within the first 5 fucking minutes of the first episode, he goes, well, it's pretty uncool to have a woman protecting me. Shut up! Okay, so what he does
needs
have
it, though. That guy can't fight.
He can't fight, no, but at least own up to it. If you are super duper smart and own up to the fact that you have something to offer that isn't fighting, which is okay, just don't make complaints about how one person is better at you than anything and complain about it because that person happens to be a woman. Like, shut up. Okay, so, and then, but what he does have is an encyclopedic knowledge of Machiavelli.
Machiavelli, yes.
Constantly.
God, it's so boring.
Everything's about Machiavelli. Even though it doesn't clearly relate to every single situation at hand. Like, a situation pops up, a Machiavelli quote, and I'm wondering, how does this connect? And you're like, wow, that makes a lot of sense. I'm like, no, it doesn't.
Who the fuck is I don't even know who the fuck Machiavelli is. Who the fuck is he talking about?
Did you watch this?
He's like a philosopher from a billion years ago.
He's a philosopher. Soma quotes him constantly.
No, I know
every
he does.
episode he quotes him. Okay, so and Machiavelli is the writer of The Prince. It is a very important novel you'll read about in U.S. history in high school. And apparently that's all he did in high school because he can quote it by heart every single page. And he just does it all the freaking time to the point where the harem starts quoting him, quoting Machiavelli. It's just so stupid. And then about that harem, you can argue that because this world has harems on both sides of the gender spectrum, apparently women can have a harem full of guys. And because of that, it's not sexist. But when have we seen any female character in this show have a harem? And also the fact that it's the former queen that has the rights to the throne, and yet it's the king that rules it? And the same thing, like, we have Licia, who does have right to the throne, but it's Soma ruling it? That doesn't make a lot of sense. And if it does include some political intrigue, maybe. But how can I keep track of it if I don't care about any of the characters, their kingdoms, or what the frick is going on? Because there's too much of it, and too much of it I don't like. And that is the end of the hill I die on.
Well, I won't disagree with a whole lot of that. Do you want to give it a score? Because we're at about time here. I think I don't have anything else to say unless you do. But
I can't in good faith ever give this more than the score I gave the first season. So with that, I would give this 0.5 Machiavelli quotes out of 5.
I am gonna give this. God, Machiavelli, I forgot about that. It's so dry too. Machiavelli says that know your enemy and know your friends and blah blah. Who gives a fuck?
They quote him in the middle of their sex education class?
I don't know. It comes up like at least 6 times, and I don't get it. God damn. I'm gonna say this is significantly less good than the first season. You know. God, I wish they had shown the Demon Kingdom. It would have made this so much better. They should have made the damn show about the Demon Kingdom. Have them invade, and then you could have him doing like political maneuvering and stuff like that to fight them off. I mean, that would have been the whole point of him marrying the 4th girl, because she was like a princess from another kingdom. But it's just not good. I'm gonna give it. This was about as good as the last one we watched, which was the Genius Prince, which I don't think I liked either. And I gave Genius Prince a 1.5. So no, that one's actually not even on the document yet. I think that I'm pretty sure that because you did not review Genius Prince, right?
No.
So Mason put your score down where mine needs to be. So, but I gave that a 1.5, so I'm also going to give this a 1.5. I'm going to give it 1.5 meaningless fucking episodes out of 5 because it just had too much stuff in it that wasn't good.
Oh, another thing that I really dislike, I don't think this is anything that they could possibly change about it because it's a budgeting thing, but literally every single scene just felt so empty. It's like a desk, a bookcase, and that's it. And then even the towns, there's like no people in it. It is a table, it is a cup, and that's it. It's not something that they can change, but it really does make a difference when they can't put anything in our backgrounds. And
honestly, the music too. The music was really poor. There's like...
I mean, I can't even remember the music. So.
They played that one song where it sounded like a coin was being dropped, and it was like spinning faster and faster before it like stops. Over and over and over again. And it was just way too much.
I can't remember it.
All right. All right, that's about it for the podcast, guys. That's our show for today.
Oh, sorry. I didn't know I was closing it. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah, that's enough for the podcast today, guys. Woo! If you would like to follow us, you can do so on Twitter at AAA Podcast. We're also on Facebook. Of course, we have our Discord, AAApodcast.com, where we have watch parties. Like, I actually had a small watch party on Friday trying to get through this very stupid show, and it was kind of fun.
Oh my God, did anybody join you for that?
Enjoyable part. Yeah, a couple people did, because, I don't know, they had nothing else better to do, I suppose, and wanted to hear my unfiltered, direct, and immediate opinions on this stupid show. And it ended up being a better way to get through it than just watching it on my own.
Sure.
So that was pretty fun. You can always try to make your own watch party, join our clubs. We're going to talk about Bloom Into You in our next anime club. That's the Wednesday after this one. So, take that as you will. And also our TikTok, where I have my first really popular one. If you want to check it out, it's all about Realist Heroes.
50K, baby.
Yeah. You can find it at _anime_addicts on TikTok. And of course, I hope you have a great rest of your week. And I don't know if we'll be really around next week, but enjoy it anyway.
After party coming up. We'll see you guys soon.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
See ya, guys.
See you guys. Bye bye.